What's going on YouTube? It's your boy Cam ATL. Shout out to the DFS squad. Shout out to everybody watching this video right now. Drop a like down below because I already know you're gonna love it. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Make sure you comment anything down in the comment section to enter your name into the $50 giveaway that I do every single week on this channel. Speaking of which, scroll down to the comment section, and by about 12 o'clock tomorrow, I'm recording this on Monday night, posting it Tuesday morning. By about 12 o'clock, I will have the winner's name posted down in the comment section. So make sure it's and see if it is you. And if it is you, hit me up on Twitter at Cam_ATL so I can send that right over to you. Welcome back for week 8 of the NFL season. Man, this season is going by so quick. It feels like it was just week 1. Now it's already week 8. We've got some decent spots here on this slate. The only thing that bothers me a little bit is it's just kind of blaish. It's a blaish slate. It doesn't worry me, but it's not a very exciting slate. We have a few matchups to definitely take advantage of, but there's a lot of matchups that you just kind of don't really want to get involved with. Doesn't seem too exciting to get involved with. But either way, we're going to find those DFS gems. We're going to build a lineup together. This is the first look lineup vid. We're going to build a lineup together. I'm not going to talk much about other players other than the ones I put in this lineup. And then come Friday morning when I post the final look vid, it'll be more of an in-depth look, and we'll talk about all of the players that we're interested in on the slate. All right, so let's get straight into this first look. Now, the quarterback that I'm really interested in is Matthew Stafford at 6'1". Seems slightly too cheap for the amount of attempts that he's had. I mean, all they're doing is throwing the ball. They're throwing a ton. He's throwing 40-plus times every game, it seems like. And now he's going against a New York Giants team that has been horrible defensively. I mean, this Detroit team is at home in their dome, which is always good for quarterbacks. That's what I always lean towards when it comes to them. I like them when they're home and in a dome. And the Vegas implied total is over 20 points. Over 28 points. Okay, so this is an amazing matchup with Stafford being at home versus a very bad Giants secondary. He should have plenty of time to just throw the ball around, and I definitely think Kenny Golladay is going to have a bounce-back week. Let me go ahead and put him in. Kenny Golladay is going to have a bounce-back in a big way week this week, matching up with Janoris Jenkins. Golladay is too big for Jenkins. He's going to absolutely demolish him, kind of like when I mentioned Mike Evans was going to break out when he had some down games, and then I knew he was going against Janoris Jenkins, the really short cornerback, and I knew he was just going to take advantage, and that's something Tampa Bay was going to want to do. In this matchup, after Kenny Golladay only got 4% of the target share after averaging over 25% of the target share all season, expect him to bounce back and go back to around that 25% of the target share, and expect Matthew Stafford to throw a ton. So Kenny Golladay is the guy, regardless of what Marvin Jones did last week. Kenny Golladay is the guy I want to pair with Matthew Stafford. All right? Now, at running back, we have Christian McCaffrey on this slate. He is 9-2, though, very expensive, and going against the very strong 49ers team. At the end of the day, McCaffrey by far has the most workload on this slate. Him and Fournette are just up there in a league of their own, as well as this guy right here. Chris Carson's been getting so much run in this offense, and now he gets the privilege of traveling to Atlanta, going against Atlanta's horrible defense. This is another team that's implied for over 28 points. And going against Atlanta, this is an amazing spot for Chris Carson. I mean, he's been getting over 20 carries a game. I'm expecting over 20 carries, 100 yards, 1 to possibly 2 touchdown game. He could have a huge 2 touchdown game like he did week 1 against Cincinnati. This is a very good matchup against Atlanta. He's going to get exposure in the pass game as well, which we know Atlanta struggles versus pass-catching running backs. So expect Chris Carson to have an amazing week, and at 7K, it kind of gives us a not too expensive guy to put in here who's going to have some really good ownership. All right. Another guy from the Detroit team, and normally I don't like pairing up running backs with my quarterback, but in this case, I understand that McKissick is still going to be their pass catching back for Detroit, but I don't really care. Ty Johnson's only 4'9". Keyshawn Johnson most likely will be missing. So I just really like Ty Johnson here, getting the start here. At 4'9", he's going to get the carries. He's going to have the workload. And against this Giants' bad defense, I mean, it's a great situation. Very high total, very good matchup. So Ty Johnson at only 4'9", I really like him. All right? And I said Keyshawn Johnson. I meant Kerryon Johnson. Okay, let me fix that. All right, next up. This dude's going to go absolutely nuts too. And if you want to go Russell Wilson, I completely understand it. He was just 1,000 more than Matthew Stafford. But if you go Russell Wilson, definitely pair him with Lockett. Even if you don't go Wilson, I think Lockett's one of my favorite receivers on the slate. He's going against an Atlanta secondary that's been absolutely atrocious this season, and I think Lockett's going to have a huge game, kind of like how he did week 3 against New Orleans where he dropped 35. He's been super, super consistent. His lowest score of the year is 9 versus Arizona. Expect him to have an amazing game here against Atlanta. He's going to absolutely destroy Atlanta's secondary. And expect Lockett to get a few big plays as well just to pad those stats, man. He's going to have an amazing weekend. I absolutely love Tyler Lockett, and if you can find a way to get the money, I'm totally fine with Wilson and Lockett together. We know how quarterbacks have been doing against Atlanta. Everybody does well. It doesn't matter who they are. Okay, everybody does well against Atlanta secondary ever since Cano, however I say his damn name. And it's my team, and I can't even say his name because I hate names. But anyways, ever since our safety left, our secondary has been absolutely horrible ever since he got hurt. So yeah, just keep picking on it. Don't overthink it. All right, to run back my Detroit love, I really like Golden Tate. Ever since he came back from his suspension, he's been getting targeted, man. 9 targets and 11 targets the last 2 games. He got 102 targets and a touchdown in his first game back against New England. And then he got 11 targets, 6 receptions, and 80 yards against Arizona last week. He runs out of the slot, so he should avoid Darius Slay, which is very good for Golden Tate. With them having to throw to keep up in Detroit in a dome, I really, really like Golden Tate, and he's going against his former team. So expect a big one out of Golden Tate to run back the love for Detroit. I think that's a really good way to go on this slate, all right? And I know I mentioned him so much, but honestly, this is my favorite team to get exposure to on this slate. And, I mean, tight end was just a tough one to pick because the prices are crazy. 6'5", Darren Waller's finally appropriately priced at 5'9", Hooper 5'5" against Seattle. Evan Ingram, Detroit. I mean, a few of those guys are fine. Hunter Henry, who's been doing great, is going against a tough defense in Chicago. It's just tough matchups at the tight end position. So I just like spending down. I like Matthew Stafford, so why not get some exposure to, let me find him, TJ Hawkinson. All right, so he came out this season, had that big game in the beginning. Well, not gigantic, but he had that solid game. He hasn't done too much lately, but, I mean, it's a great spot here. I mean, he got 28 week 1 against Arizona, but the last 3 weeks are 11-6-6, not horrible, and at 11-5 in the highest total against a horrible defense. I do think the Giants will be able to score on Detroit too, so this is definitely one of the games I want exposure to no matter what. And I know it seems like I have a million Detroit players, but at the end of the day, this is my favorite offense to get exposure to, them or Seattle. But Seattle is priced higher. You can get a lot of these Detroit guys at fair prices. So that's the offense I'm leaning towards targeting the most on this slate. So a lot of things are probably going to change by the final look. We'll talk it out by then, but my gut's just all over Detroit, and I really didn't like the idea of spending up at tight end here on this slate with the tough matchups up top and the appropriate pricing, it seems like now. So I kind of want to save at tight end this week. At flex, I'm expecting, okay, obviously things could change and we'll talk about it later, okay, but Alvin Kamara had the high ankle sprain that was really bothering him. They sat him last week. Now understand this, New Orleans has a bye week in week 9, okay, we are in week 8. There is no reason to send Alvin Kamara out there with a high ankle sprain when he's not 100% when you have a bye week 9. Okay, just sit him again, let him relax week 9 and come back fully healthy week 10, probably with Drew Brees there as well. That's what I would expect them to do. Bring him back when Drew Brees comes back week 10. Sit him again. Latavius Murray is a fine fill-in. There's no reason to risk your star running back. Just sit him again. Let Latavius Murray run all over Arizona. So that is what I'm expecting. That is why I'm putting Latavius in the first look as of now. I really love the matchup against Arizona. Arizona's done okay versus running backs this year, but they really haven't faced any big names. Murray's not a huge name, but the dude, I mean, when he's getting full volume, he's always been a very solid back. He got 27 carries against Chicago week 7. All right, and don't forget, this is a really good Chicago defense. He got 119 rushing yards, 2 touchdowns, and 5 catches for 31 yards. He's got a lot of run in this. I mean, they're playing him pretty much like they do Kamara. They don't run Kamara 27 times. Murray's a bigger back that can handle that. But I really, really like this, man. I really like it. I think he's going to get another 25-ish carries here against Arizona at home in New Orleans. But obviously, keep an eye on it. Like I said, my gut is feeling like Kamara is going to sit again because that seems like the logical thing to do. Your running back's dealing with a lingering high ankle sprain. Rest him and then let him come back week 10 after the week 9 bye fully healthy. That is the way I would see them doing it. So Latavius Murray is an awesome play at 5'8" at the flex. And then at defense, I really, really like the Jaguars here. At home in Jacksonville, going against the Jets. I understand they no longer have one of the best cornerbacks in all of the league, Ramsey. But Jacksonville's still a solid defense even without him. They're going against a Jets team, man. Their offensive line looked atrocious versus New England. They could not contain anybody. They lost a center, I believe. So they even lost, they're already bad. Now they're losing some guys. So that offensive line is struggling a lot. New England really put a whole bunch of pressure on them. Now are the Jaguars New England? No, they're not. But Vegas only has Jets projected for slightly over 18 points. I completely can see that, especially with the Jaguars at home. Going against the Jets, I don't think this is a huge get-right spot for the Jets. And this Jaguars D's been really consistent with the upside of 15 and 17 throughout the year. And we don't need much at only 2-9. All right, and that's it. Matthew Stafford, Chris Carson, Ty Johnson, Kenny Golladay, Tyler Lockett, Golden Tate, running back all that Detroit love, TJ Hawkinson, Latavius Murray, and Jaguars D. Remember, don't just blindly enter this in. Don't change it at all. Don't do nothing and just go with it, okay? Things are going to change as the week goes on. More studying goes involved. This is just the first look, gut calls, getting you guys started, getting you guys, on the road for it, all right? We have NBA season opener later on tonight. Hit up greenlightdfs.com to start the season off for the NBA with the squad. Man, let's start it off in a big way in this 2-game slate. If you haven't watched the NBA video yet, it is on my channel. Go check it out. Drop a like down below. Subscribe to the channel. And I'm out. Thank you guys for joining me as always. Peace.